Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Ale. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, like the video, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. So excited for my returning girlies. Hey boo. In today's video, I'm going to do a get ready with me and we're going to talk about like some tips for budgeting because if you're like me, you know the algorithm is bringing you pieces that you love, and sometimes you impulsively may hit the buy button. We got to stop and put a pause just to make sure our finances are in order before we continue to shop for pieces, especially that we may not need, may not have an event for, may not have space for, and may not be able to build around. So stay tuned. I'm going to go through some budgeting tips while we get ready for a cute little night out with some drinks with a friend. Let's go. Let's start with our brows and budgeting tip number 1. First thing you want to do is budget the fun money into your entertainment budget. And the most important thing about a budget, it's not a vague amount, right? When you pick categories and the amount that you'll spend for each category, this is a real number. Whatever it is, you need to stick to it. For some women, that may be $45 per pay. For some women, that may be $200 per pay. But it's important that you understand what that looks like for you. So there's no wrong answer. I'm just using this Tear concealer that I got from TikTok Shop under my brow. And what I use for my brows is these like magic marker pens from TikTok Shop. I absolutely love these. If I run out, I have to run and grab more. These pens are so nice. And they take forever to run out. So you never like run out of them. And they're so inexpensive in comparison to the other brow products on the market. I love them. So the magic of tip number 1 is that when you have this number, your guilt kind of disappears for what you should be spending. Because you're staying right on budget where you want to be. So if you buy something, you're not like, oh no, I shouldn't have spent that, or I should return this, because you've already figured that out into your monthly goals. But be sure to always master the art of your consistent spending, like rent, groceries, utilities, cell phone, car note, and insurance. Those things don't change. So always put those and your savings aside first before you build your entertainment, fun, fashion budget. All right, under the brow looks good. I use my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in color 365 above the brow. And I just take a dab on a concealer brush, just so when I do my foundation, I don't have to get super close to my brow. Just to carve that out. Really, really easy. And then you can take your sponge and kind of blend it, or a brush to blend it. And I'm going to use a brush just to blend that out. So when I go around and do my face and my concealer, I don't have to worry about one of my big brushes ruining the brows that I created. And I think that looks really good. All right, let's move on to concealer while we get into budgeting tip number 2. Budgeting tip number 2 is master the art of the waiting period. And most of us, especially with algorithms throwing products that they know you'll love at you whenever you're on your phone, on your tablet, or your computer, the algorithms have perfected giving us the pieces that we absolutely love. Impulse buying is the number one budget killer for fashion girls like us. You see something cute, your heart races. Before you know it, you're like, Apple Pay, checkout. We got to stop, girls. We got to stop. I also have a tip for a 48-hour rule that I use. If I see something, especially on Facebook, if I see something on Facebook, Facebook has mastered the algorithm for me and the things that I love. If I see something on Facebook, I wait 48 hours. You can take a screenshot, you can send it to yourself or your friend. If you're still thinking about it 48 hours later and it feels necessary, then go ahead and purchase it. But if the next time you see it is when you're trying to remove old photos from your phone, then you definitely don't need it. Don't go back and buy it. You will be shocked by how many things you completely forget about. So master patience. Also, when you're scrolling, click those three dots by the ad and say, why am I seeing this? Or say, hide this ad. Open those account preferences and start to remove those ads from even showing up in your feed. You'll see you're spending a lot less. All right, I think our brows look good. Let's move on to some complexion products. And my absolute favorite concealer, which I only learned about through Miss Jackie Ina, is the Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser Concealer. I use it in the color 146.5, which is very hard to find. This color is usually at a like scarce Walgreens. You twist it up, the product comes out of this like super cool like sponge thing. I love this. And you literally just twist out enough to get it under your eye. I do a little V here. There. And there. And I usually start on the side of my face, and I'm going to show you a trick that I do. I use the same brush that I just used. I use the same brush, dab it in my makeup just to get what's around the rim before I start to blend. And you see how that looks? It's much more natural with the blend when I have that little bit of color on my brush already. That concealer doesn't look so bright or stand out. You can put a little on the back of your hand as well while we move on to tip number 3. Build a capsule wardrobe. So like a foundation first. So you're not buying random pieces and you're not trying to buy entire outfits. And I was really, really guilty of this because I just bought the cutest pink skirt with this pink leather top. Why did I need both? You're building an entire outfit because you didn't need either. You didn't need either, and now you're building an entire fit. But before you shop, make sure you have really nice pieces so that way, if you're just buying slacks, you're not also trying to buy tops to go with. You should have really amazing basics. When your foundation is strong, you need less to look like you have more. You can add 1 or 2 trendy pieces. Stay away from trends. That's a budgeting point as well. Please. Stay away from those trends, girls. and you will do well. A little bit more of this foundation on my brush. And you can spend more on those foundational pieces. So quality over quantity, then go budget friendly on the trends. Just smart to build that capsule wardrobe. And I know a lot of people is like, that's new. What is a capsule wardrobe? A capsule wardrobe are the foundational pieces. White blouses, trousers in black, gray, chocolate brown, a khaki color, olive greens. Get you 2 or 3 leather jackets, a trench or two. Things like that you know will last through trends are the absolute best way to stay budget friendly when shopping. I think so far we look really, really good. The makeup has blended beautifully. And you see, if you put a little bit of foundation on your brush and around the perimeter of your face before you do your concealer blending, you'll have a beautiful base to work with. All right, let's do some powder and baking. While we talk about tip number 5, I believe we're on. You should be using cashback apps. You should be using discount codes. You should be discount stacking. And that's a tip that makes every dollar work harder for you. And don't fall for the hype that these companies have. Oh, it's on discount, 40, 50% off. That should be the base price. If they're giving you a discount, look for free shipping as well. Sign up for the text messages and get an extra discount to stack on top. I would also suggest, if you have credit cards that give you cash back on your purchases, always use those and pay it right off. My biggest piece of advice for women who are like me, who love to shop and are, higher middle class income earners, is to absolutely only buy what you have in cash. And I don't mean transferring from savings to checking, because if I wanted to go and buy a brand new, let's say, LV bag or something, a trinket from Dior, I don't keep that type of money in my checking account. If I want that, I have to wait on a payout from social media, from TikTok. I have to wait on my income, my actual paycheck to come through. I'm not going to pull from my brokerage account. I'm not going to pull from my savings account. I don't care how bad I want it. I am not moving money for purchases like that. No way. So I use my credit card only if I have cash in there or available to pay it off in cash. I do not use any savings or brokerage money for purchases like fashion, accessories, trend or not. It just is not part of it's not in my ministry. Okay. All right. So tip number 5 was, let's stack our discounts. I'm sorry. I'm trying to set my mirror back up. All right. Now I'm guilty of number 6. Let me tell you, I am so guilty of number 6. How many of us fashion girlies have repurchased things we already have? I'm super guilty of it. I do it all the time. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. But that's because you're over shopping, you're overspending, you're over surfing the web. You have to stop. And because I'm guilty of that too, this is a reminder for me. See, I'm making content that benefits you and me, girl, because we are definitely going to be girls who got way more in our bank account than we do in our closet. And that's why I'm bringing you this video. Because I know it's easy, especially I did a video a long time ago where I talked about Black women and impulsive spending. It's related to our social positioning in the world. You can deny it if you want, but Black women overspend the way that they do because of our social positioning in the world. Wanting to keep up with the Joneses is not a fake thing. It's not a fake thing. It's very real. It's very real. Pops in Wendy Osefo. We all know. And we're not immune to it. Any of us could fall victim to, a new social class. I used to work with a group of physicians, specialty physicians, and they would invite me to events. And I knew I would be meeting and networking with other people who are professionals in our industry. And these holiday events, especially, I would go out to Macy's or Dillard's, or Nordstrom was big at the time, and I would go purchase something for the event. And I would overspend because I would get a glittery bag. I was making a ton of money. I was getting a glittery bag. Still am making more now because this was 10, 15 years ago. I would get a nice clutch, a beautiful gown, shoes. I would need hosiery. I would need my hair done, nails done, jewelry, a makeup artist, all of this to keep up with the Joneses. And when you're intermingling with physicians, that's not how they dress. That's not what they do. They show up in a white shirt, they show up in slacks, and they show up in a comfortable pair of shoes. And so it dawned on me that so many of us, and I mean, I know that's all from our childhood as well. Our parents are always like, show up as your best self, make sure you look amazing. You know what I mean? And that's part of Black American culture as well. Show up looking good for a multitude of reasons we don't need to get into today, but we all know that one. All right. So our closets are disorganized. Let's get back into number 6, repurchasing the items you've already bought. Closets are disorganized. We don't have our bottoms separated from our tops, our dresses separated from our skirts, our springs separated from our winters. So once you find the organization and you can go through your pieces, I have so many things in storage that I'm also kind of fearful of shopping right now because I find myself buying things over and over. Me buying multiples has happened more than I would ever like to admit, but we're going to get a hold on that now because we have our budgeting tips from this video. And let me tell you what I've gotten into more recently, because sometimes your pieces that you've loved and you've worn, they could find a beautiful new home. And I am not sponsored, but Depop is my favorite app. And let me tell you why. Depop feels like a community of girls just sharing clothes. Do you remember back in the day when you would go to your girl's house and get dressed there? I remember packing a bag. It was stuff it full of clothes and dresses. You would get there, y'all pulling out the same things. People are finding shoes. Help me with this, help me with that. That's what Depop feels like. Depop feels like a community of girls just sharing clothing, from high end to low end, club wear to office casual. The things on Depop are so fun. So I love the relationship that I've built with fashion using resale sites. Depop, The Real Real. I have so many luxury purchases and gifts. A lot of like luxury items that I've had in my life are from like my exes. My ex-husband used to love to buy like higher end designer bags and things for me. And when I had a divorce, I was able to use the Real Real to really resell. I was able to use the Real Real to resell so many of those items because I just didn't want to hold on to that memory anymore. And the Real Real gives you a nice bonus when you sell with them. So I sold a bunch of bags, but in that selling period, I was able to earn almost $1,000 in credits to use in the site outside of the money that I would make from selling my items. So I used that $1,000, bought a Ruslan Baginski hat. I bought some Dolce & Gabbana shoes and a pair of Burberry mules. But the Real Real is so generous with those credits. So if you have pieces that you think that you want to get rid of or may want to start shopping more, sell some of the things that you already have, and that will help you with your budgeting. Believe it or not. Trust me, girl, I know. Now, next up, I'm going to use my one size palette to contour. I love these top two shades. I take this angle brush that I also bought from TikTok Shop. Love this brush down. Go straight down my nose into my eyebrow crease. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I take these same top two colors straight down my nose. Juvia's Place has a beautiful palette that's like this as well. If you're interested, but I just use that brush to line it out. Use this same brush to kind of fade it just a bit. Love that. Do that again on this other side. Make sure you take it up into that brow area. Now, this is my first time in a long time doing a full face because my skincare has been so top tier. If you're not aware, I do have my essential skincare favorites on my Amazon storefront. So that is also linked in the description box. Just click on LA's Skin Essentials and it'll take you to my list of favorites from Amazon. My skin has been doing amazing lately. I'm so proud of these strides I've made, even though I've never had problematic skin. I notice I notice as I age that things are changing. The hormonal acne kind of comes in like right here. I get maybe 2 or 3 bumps every month, same spot, nonstop. I don't even bother them. I don't bother them because they go away. They come, they stay for 4 days and they go away as soon as my cycle is done. I'm going to take these 2 colors and just go down like that. Right over top of that concealer line we built earlier. I'm going to take those same 2 colors and do it on the other side. But, so that was rule number 7, was to start selling on these very cool reseller apps like Depop, Poshmark, The Real Real. There's another one I like that people say payout is instant, so you don't really have to wait for it to sell. But go on Reddit, do some research. I haven't heard great reviews about Oh, what is it called? It's another luxury consignment online. Not My Teresa. I'll have to look it up. The real My Teresa Fashion File. I haven't heard great reviews on Fashion File about the price they're willing to give you for your items. But, it's at your discretion. You decide what you think is best for you. I'm just taking that concealer, just what's left on the brush under my chin, to create some definition there. And I know my makeup may look bright now. I'm using a lot of bright lights in front of me, so don't worry, girls. This looks really good though so far. I'm loving it. I don't wear lashes. I've kind of moved away from lashes, just to give me more of a natural face when I can. I am going to add a bit of the Lip Bars rosy orange colored blush. It's my favorite, and the color is an Outspoken. Beautiful color. Put it right on the apples of my cheek and move up, because I am not shy when it comes to blush. I love it. I absolutely love blush. So, those 7 tips, let me know which of those you love the most and what you think will help. I will also suggest to you just another girl to girl who makes money, girl who loves money, girl who loves saving, and girl who wants to always elevate the lives of those around me, including you, girly. I want to tell you to get you a high yield savings account. I love Capital One. Capital One is easy to get. Capital One makes their apps so user friendly. So, if I could suggest anything to you, it's grab the Capital One app, open up a high yield savings account. It might be 4% back right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in color Hazelnut Deep Golden. It's almost like the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. And it's just an all over powder in my skin tone. And it mutes like the blush, it mutes the under eye highlight, it makes everything look really, really natural. I'm really happy with this face. I'm using my Tear melting spray. This setting spray will absolutely melt your makeup. You're going to look stunning, girlfriend. I'm going to spray that all over. I am extremely happy with that. And because I love a natural beat, and I think this looks very, very natural, I'm using my Fenty Beauty. This is the color Spiced Cold. And it's a beautiful mauve. Look at that. Is it going to focus for me? Are you going to focus for me? Yes, this mauve is stunning. So beautiful. You don't even need to line your lips. Your lips just look naturally rosy and beautiful. I love this color. So those are your 7 budgeting tips for the fashion girl who is navigating this economy. We are not giving up our passion. Oh, this is a full get ready with me, baby. So yes, the scarf is coming off. I'm going to take these rollers out and slap on my half wig that I absolutely love. All right, girlies, we're back. I love a kinky half wig. I love a kinky texture, anything, child. So I have some anchor braids right behind my leave out. So you can attach the wig to. And then I just use these old school sponge rollers, baby. Take my real hair down. And using the rollers keeps me from putting heat. Keeps me from having to put heat on my hair every day. And keeps my natural curl pattern intact, and not wearing lace wigs keeps me from having to worry about my edges. So everything looks really good to me. I'm going to blend just a little bit more by my hairline to make sure we look super good. Let's throw some earrings on our outfit on, and I'm going to take you in the front so you can see the final look as we wrap up this budgeting video. 1 second, girly. So girls, this is the outfit. I love this dress. It is a long mesh maxi with long sleeves. It is off the shoulder. I absolutely love it. I love this lace up detail right there in the front. The hair looks good. Makeup is tea. You just did that with me. I'm wearing my bag from TikTok Shop. My shoes are Pretty Little Thing. And the jacket is also TikTok Shop. All right, thanks for staying with me for my budgeting tips. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and come visit me on this channel anytime. I'll see you soon. Bye.